Hi everybody, I'm dekutony and welcome back to another video where I complain into the void, where nobody really cares what I have to say, where the big billion-dollar corporations don't really care or listen to what I have to say. I mean, this videos like only get like a couple hundred views at best. I promise this video is the part 3 of my Nintendo Switch Online wishlist thing. Last month, aka February, Nintendo revealed Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Kinda shadow-dropped it. You can play these games right now. As a matter of fact, they just added Kirby's Dream Land 2 and a couple of other games to the service. So that's kinda neat. Really appreciate that the Game Boy and Game Boy Color is still tied to the regular subscription and not the expansion pass. That would have been kind of sucky. But we all know why you're watching this. You want for some reason to hear me complain to Nintendo about all of these games that are still not on the service for some reason. However, unlike the previous two parts, I'm going to really expand upon the previous lists that I had the last couple of times, for the NES, Super Nintendo, and N64. Because there's quite a lot of things that happened since those videos. For instance, I got Pilot Wing 64 finally, and I still in disbelief that Jelly Boy got in before Star Tropics 2 and Mario RPG. It's like GoldenEye 007 got added to the service. That opens a whole other can of worms that we'll be touched on later. That's cool. That's neat. So the Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, I didn't expect that either. And Kirby's Tilt and Tumble is getting added. Like, wow. But even with all of those neat little additions, there's still a whole lot of games I still want to see added. Not just for Game Boy, but for virtually everything else. So it's going to devolve into it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a whole mess of a video. Just you wait and see. Okay, so without further something, let's begin this madness. I hope you're ready. Let's start with the main course for today, the Game Boy games. Starting with Mega Man 1 through 5. You know them Mega Man games on the Game Boy? Like, they were kinda neat except the first two ones. The first one and the second one suck. But the rest of them are pretty fun. They're pretty good. Mega Man 3, 4, and 5 in particular, genuinely really fun to play. Now, I don't see Capcom releasing a Mega Man Legacy Collection that includes all of the handheld games. So, this is like the best way of playing these old little Game Boy Mega Man games. Also, Mega Man Extreme 1 and 2 could also work. all of those games should be added to the service. There's like only one Mega Man game on Nintendo Switch Online. That's the Genesis game, the Wily Wars. So a bit more Mega Man content would be cool, I think. Next up on the list is one of the most requested games, Pokemon, the mainline games. Now I don't really know if this is going to happen. I said the same thing about the Pokemon Stadium and look what happened. Kinda weird, still not available yet. There's not really any like release date for both Stadium 1 and 2. Kind of strange, but I actually was waiting for that Pokemon Presents to see if they will announce like that the mainline games were coming to NSO, but that didn't happen. But yeah, I don't really know what to expect from these games coming to NSO. Don't really know if it's even gonna happen because it's the Pokemon company. They're even more greedy than Nintendo. So this is a really big question mark for me. I don't know if they're really going to do it because I would rather remake the games. They already remade Pokemon Yellow on the Switch. So I'm going to say it's very unlikely that's gonna happen, at least for the online service, but maybe can happen, but there's going to be like a big catch to those re-releases. So there's always a catch with Pokemon. Now, moving on from Pokemon, we got Pokemon Pinball and Puzzle Challenge. Like both of the pinball games on the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. I like those games. I have a lot of fond memories of the original pinball game, as well as the sequel on the Game Boy Advance. I think those are pretty likely, especially with Rumble support. They're probably gonna add those. They already added Rumble to some of the games, like Mario and Luigi and Super Mario Advance 4. So that's pretty likely. Now it's time for a curveball and talk about a very obscure game. Like always, I guess. Rhino Rumble is a really obscure Game Boy Color game. It's a platformer starring a little rhino friend. It's a cute little game. Like, it might not be the best game ever, but it stars a cute little rhino. And like every different level, he wears like a different accessory, like a hat or some sunglasses, and it's pretty cute. I don't know if freaking Jelly Boy could get in. I think this game has a chance. Ever since like GoldenEye dropped into Nintendo Switch Online, again, it's very mind blowing. I've been thinking, what if there were more licensed games on the service? And this is where my out of left field pick comes in for the Game Boy Advance section. The Hamtaro games. Like all 4 of them. From the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance. You can even say the all 5 of them because there's the first one that was only available in Japan. I wanna see Hamtaro return, or maybe a remake. I don't know. A remake of the first one that we got, like Ham's Unite. That would be pretty epic. I wrote down all of the games in like a little a piece of paper It was like nearly 2 a.m. in the morning. So which other games did I mention? I see Crip World. Crip World? Crip 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 World. That one Sunsoft game starring the little cute little rabbit thing. I think this game should be re-released on the service. It's a cute little game. Again, it's from Sunsoft. Going to be a good game. The Donkey Kong games, Donkey Kong 94, Donkey Kong Land 1, 2, and 3, Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Color, which also leads me to the Donkey Kong Country trilogy from the Game Boy Advance, like the GBA versions, especially DKC3, with the amazing David Wise music. Bomberman Quest. That's an interesting Bomberman game. I enjoyed it, even though it was pretty frustrating at times. I'm pretty sure that the Kirby, like the rest of the Kirby games on the Game Boy, are going to get added, like Pinball Land and Block Ball and Star Stacker. So there you go. Shantae. Now I know that game's already released on the Switch, but I don't know, man. I think we'll give more people the opportunity to play that game. I mean, Way Forward is they're pretty nice people, right? I think that they will be down for that, right? Now, Balloon Kid. Conker's Pocket Tales. You already have rare games like Banjo Kazooie and GoldenEye already in there. The stupid service. So how about we have even more like from the Game Boy? You know what I wanna see? Like not even just the Game Boy, but from the NES. Battletoads. Why is Battletoads still not on Nintendo Switch Online? I don't know. Nintendo being stupid, I guess. And Croc 2. Croc. Bring back Croc. Hashtag bring back Croc. Hashtag justice for Pluck. Oh yeah, yes. Pluck. Please put Pluck in the service Nintendo. Thanks. Now the rest of the GBA games, like the miscellaneous stuff, Wario Land 4, and one the greatest achievement game. Let's see, the Mario Golf and Tennis games. WarioWare Twisted, that would be interesting. Grill Dozer, please put that one in Nintendo. I guess Rayman Advance. And speaking of which, I completely forgot about Rayman 2. You didn't put Rayman 2 on my N64 games list, so I'll be adding that right now. Put Rayman 2 on NSO. Nintendo, you stupid. Again, another rare game. Banjo Kazooie, Grunty's Revenge, and Banjo Pilot from the Game Boy Advance, producing their rare Nintendo, Microsoft, and the Clonoa games on the GBA, and that would be neat, right? Pocky and Rocky with Becky also would be neat. And the Sonic Advance trilogy. The Sonic Advance trilogy. Sega, if you don't want to re-release those games for some reason, always put them on Nintendo Switch Online. Also Sonic Battle. You don't own for those games on the service. Okay, so those are all the miscellaneous stuff. Now let's get into the more interesting stuff, like Crash Bandicoot from the Game Boy Advance, like Huge Adventure and Entranced and Crash Nitro Kart. Why not? The GBA port of Nitro Kart is surprisingly solid, all things considered. Like those, all three of those games are pretty solid. Except like Crash, Purple, and no, please don't. You know what will really be neat and super cool? The legendary Starfy, the original game from the GBA that almost got a localization. Please, please give some love to Starfy Nintendo. And Tomato Adventure. You know that game? It's like made by Alpha Green before Mario and Luigi, rest in peace. You know what I just realized right now? I didn't put Mother Free in here. That's kind of sad, actually. Do you know of a game called Wade Hickston's Counterpunch? It's like it plays kind of like Punch Out, but it's really cartoony graphics from like very clearly from their time. I think it still holds up rather well, the graphics, and especially the music. Did you know that the music for that game was made by the same guy who made the music for the Club Penguin DS games? And that's how you know I care about this game. Also, the gameplay isn't that bad. It doesn't have like the same level of polish as the actual Punch Out game, but it's still pretty fun. That would be a out of left field pick. Again, Jelly Boy got in Never Say Never. And now here's for the really stupid picks that probably never going to happen for the Game Boy. SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge, anyone? Quite frankly, the GBA version is better than the PS1 version, even though the music was really messed up in the GBA compared to the amazing music from the PlayStation. I mean, that's kind of a given, but somehow it's like they messed up the music. Like, I don't know what happened there. But I still really enjoy that game for some reason. And that's however one game that I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Probably the same thing with Dragon Ball Adventure. One of my favorite games on the system. It's really well made. It's from the original Dragon Ball anime before BBC. It's a really fun, like, platformer, like beat 'em up kind of fighting game hybrid. It's really interesting and really fun to play. I kind of wish this game came back in some sort of collection with other Dragon Ball games like Super Sonic Warriors or whatnot. And that's it, I think. Punk's Adventure and Punk's Revenge on the Game Boy, Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, that's it. That's all on the list for the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games I have here. I hope that some of these games really have a shot. I know that Nintendo, like, they're really weird when they want to release the put games on Nintendo Switch Online. I mean, but what's the hold up with like games like The Mysterious Murasame Castle or Mac Rider or Star Tropics 2? I don't know. But anyways, we're still not done here because I decided to also update my older lists for the NES and Super Nintendo and N64 games. I already mentioned a couple of them, but this segment is going to be focused on the rest of the platforms, as well as a couple other surprises, so buckle up. Buckle up, it's going to get a little crazy. Let's start with Battletoads. You know, I already talked about this, but what about Battletoads and Double Dragon? Both the NES and Super Nintendo versions. I know it will be quite tricky to do, but I mean, you put GoldenEye somehow into NSO, you can do it, right? You can convince both Rare and Microsoft and Arc System Works. And speaking of licensed games, I think since GoldenEye opened the floodgates, DuckTales. Yeah, DuckTales is not on the Switch in any way. There's no sign of the remake coming to the Switch. Or the Disney Afternoon collection that for some reason was never on the Switch. That was really dumb. You can put like this all-time classic onto the service. Like, I love DuckTales. It's one of my most nostalgic games ever. I really have a lot of fond memories of that game, even though I never really watched the show. I really wanna see DuckTales on Nintendo Switch Online. Please do it. Nintendo, Disney, Capcom, please. Please. Okay, since there's a lot of list here, I'm just gonna list all of them. Not much elaboration. Starting with looking at the list. Battletoads, already mentioned it. DuckTales. Star Tropics 2, please put this game on the service, Nintendo. Hashtag justice for Star Tropics 2. Hashtag keep Japan Star Tropics. Murasame Castle. That's a weird one that's still not here. Mach Rider. Another one. Rat Racer. Little Samsung. Conquest of the Crystal Palace. Metal Storm. Guardian Legend. Gimmick, I think is coming like as a separate like download eShop title, I think. And of course, who can forget Qbert? I'm just kidding. This one actually needs some more elaboration because this is the actually impossible one on here. Probably besides like the licensed games like Batman or Chip and Dale. The impossible game I'm talking about is Q-Boy. Q-Boy is a bootleg game released in 1994. I have a soft spot for this game. A lot of people dunk on the game because it's a bootleg, because they don't know how the game works or how to control the character, because they just don't want to learn how to play the game, and then they start dunking on the game and the controls and the physics, even though they don't understand how it works, and people just take it as fact. Isn't that something? I hate people do that. But anyways, I love this game. Like, except stage 4, 2 and 4, 3, and basically the entire fourth world. That's the lowest point of this game. The level design leaves a lot to be desired, but I still love this game in spite of it. They gave me like a Christmas miracle if this game somehow got in any re-release. And to be honest, now as for Super Nintendo games, all of the other games I talked about in the previous like NES and SNES games video, Mario RPG, Super Bunk, Block, Uniracers, Jelly Boy 2, Bobsy. What about Mega Man and Bass? That game is ridiculously difficult, and I hate the wily castle levels, the final levels of the game. Those are horrible, non-tested properly. They're so unbelievably difficult. Even then, I still enjoyed it more than Mega Man 9. That's right. I like Mega Man and Bass more than Mega Man 9. That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other topic. And 64 games. Again, just like, thank goodness that rare games are here, and Pilot Wing 64 finally got re-released, as well as Pokemon Stadium. Hopefully, other games coming to the surface, like the games from my previous list, like Diddy Kong Racing, Mischief Makers, Chameleon Twist, Snowboard Kids, Space Station Silicon Valley, Donkey Kong 64, Bomberman 64, Smash 64, Perfect Dark, Banjo, Tooie, Glover. You gotta love the glove. Buck Bumble, that will be hilarious. And the new one I completely forgot. Rayman 2. Can't believe I missed that one. Also post editing. Tony here. Yeah, I recorded the stuff for this video like since like late March, so sorry about the delay. But yeah, long since then, Pokemon Stadium got a release date, and a bunch of other stuff happened. I want to add, if I didn't put this, I don't remember if I talked about this earlier. Pokemon Picross. Can you imagine the original cancelled Game Boy Color game finally seeing a release in NSO? That would be neat. That's it. That's all I have. Bye. Alright. Miscellaneous stuff. This is going to be really random and weird and dumb. First up, new platforms for Nintendo Switch Online. The Sega Master System, the Sega Game Gear, the PC Engine / Turbo Graphics 16, the Virtual Boy, and the Pokemon Mini. Please. You know what I want to see? It has nothing to do with NSO or anything. I just want to see this game on the Switch. Half-Life 2. There's that NVIDIA Shield TV port of that game, and I've been wanting this game to come to the Switch since just the year the Switch launched. Like, I've been waiting for like 6 years. Man, that would be so cool. And you already put Portal 1 and 2 on the Switch, so why not Half-Life 2? And maybe a Yakuza port. You can tell whoever got super salty about the low sales of the Wii U Yakuza games, and tell them to shut up and let the people who care make a Yakuza game, port a Yakuza game to the Switch. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I've got. Sorry for the abrupt ending. Thank you for watching. I have nothing else to say. Just hoping you'll get to see a new video soon. See ya, everybody. Have a nice day, night, whatever. God bless.